What's up, Colby Sharp, 5th grade teacher in Michigan. Welcome to my channel where I try to help kids fall in love with reading. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the books that my 5th graders are reading with 2 days before winter break. So these are the books that they will be starting winter break reading, and hopefully they can continue to read these, and then another book, and then another book, and continue to read a ton like they're doing in class. It's Spirit Week, it's Candy Cane Day, so, rocking the red and white. Let's start off with Blended, Sharon Draper's amazing book. What I love about this book is how it's divided up, right? So your main character here, her father is black, her mother is white, and the chapters are like Dad's Week, Mom's Week, Dad's Week, Mom's Week. What an amazing book, a powerful book, a heartbreaking book. There's a scene in it that most kids don't see coming, and boy, does it blow their minds. It is tragic. Oh, what a book. If you haven't read Blended, you probably read Sharon Draper's Out of My Mind, maybe Out of My Heart as well. But check out Blended. It is phenomenal. Next up, Cat Kid Comic Club Influencers, the newest one. I will tell you that this is my favorite Cat Kid Comic Club, and a big reason is because of this story right here, Two Birds. So when you read this is a story by Poppy, one of the frogs, and it is about two birds born at the same time from the same nest, and one has a very positive outlook on life, one has a very negative outlook on life, and it's fascinating to see throughout their life how that affects the life that they live. Check it out. Magic Treehouse, still reading it. Yeah, the graphic novels, Pirates Past Noon. Kids, some of these kids are just trying to read every graphic novel ever written. So they just keep chugging along, keep trying to find new ones. Next up, I saw a kid who was in the library today and asking Miss Ott if this is the first Wimpy Kid. So they're going on a Wimpy Kid journey. They haven't been on a Wimpy Kid journey yet, and they're in 5th grade. So it's time. They're excited. Let's go. So good. So a lot of my kids have been reading the latest Wild Robot, The Wild Robot Protects. It's phenomenal. If you haven't read it, check it out. Kids need these books. I would have loved, oh my gosh, I would have loved the Wild Robot books when I was a 5th grader, 4th grader, 6th grader. So check these out. Phenomenal, one of the best series to come out the last handful of years. One thing that I love so much about reading aloud is when kids continue to read. This kid has read, after I read The Strange Case of Origami Yoda, he read Darth Paper Strikes Back, then he read Secret of the Fortune Wookiee, on to the surprise attack of Jabba the Puppet. Let's go. Kids like these. Do your kids like these? Are they into these scary books? Like, seriously, the author wrote that book, The Collector. That cover just creeps me out. I don't really do scary, but they do. The kids sure do love it, which is awesome. I recently read the latest book in this series. Let me grab it. It's called Sunny Makes a Case. It comes out in 2024. It's phenomenal. It's the 5th book in the series. Holy smokes. Sunny and her friends started a debate team. So good. And a kid, I was book talking the series to the kid, and the kid who sits right here, she read Sunny Side Up, and she's like, what is the order? So we were looking at the order, and now she's reading Swing It Sunny. So we have a new kid hooked on it. She's like, these are great. I think she was wondering, like, why haven't I been reading these the last few years, which is exciting that she is now. So a lot of the kids have this on their desk because we are 2 chapters away from finishing reading aloud Christina Wyman's Jawbreaker, and they're so into it. Something very exciting just happened in the 3rd to last chapter, 2 days left. We've been reading a lot. We're going to slow it down a little bit. Read chapter 36 on Thursday and 37 on Friday. Oh, it's so good. If you haven't read this, read Jawbreaker, one of the best middle grade novels published this year. Bad Guys. Do I need to say anything? All the kids love Bad Guys. Not all the kids, but like a lot of kids love Bad Guys. They can't get enough. They even know what each one is. There's like 20 of them. I have no idea what's going on with those. Kids are reading them. Go kids. Gabe in the After. This is like a post-apocalyptic book where all of these kids from northeastern United States, they live in like an island, like vacation town, like a little island, or like right near it, and they've been on this island since like a pandemic broke out, and there's like I think 15-ish of them, and they haven't seen anyone in like 2 years. And the book opens with them with a young girl coming up to them, and they see her and they like bring her in, but it's like the first person they've seen outside of this community that they've created together. Wow, a lot of kids are reading this book this year. It's very popular with my 5th graders, so check out Gabe in the After. I just had a little reading conference with the guy reading this who was Babe Ruth. He's really into these bobblehead biographies. that I call him. He recently read the Michael Jordan one. He read the Derek Jeter one. So we were looking for some of the different sports ones. And we realized we didn't have the Jackie Robinson one. Oh, so we picked up that. And we're also going to get the Shaq one because he wants to read that as well. It's so awesome. I love seeing, he's always like, every time I'm like buying me one, he tells me some interesting stat or something he learned today. He was telling me about how Babe Ruth's family sent him to like an orphanage / home for troubled boys because he was making some bad choices. Next up, All Rise, Honorable Perry T. Cook. I love this book, story about Perry T. Cook. He lives in prison with his mom. She was pregnant when she was incarcerated, and he just lived. The warden worked it out so he could live with her, and leaves prison every day to go to school. Fascinating books. And people are starting to think it's not the best idea for Perry, so they're talking about not letting him live with his mom as she finishes out her sentence. It's pretty intense. He's pretty stressed out, not happy about that. Next up, we have Wild Robot Escapes, which is book 2 in the series. You know, just awesome. The Road to After, one of my favorite novels in verse the last couple of years. It's a really tragic tale of a family who is being really abused by the father, both physically and verbally, mentally, all that. And early in the book, they decide to run and to try to start a new life and to get away from this man who's hurting them. Oh, it's so good, it's so heartbreaking. And then when I was telling you about the girl who was reading Swing at Sunny, when her and I were trying to figure out which one was second, another kid was like, well, what's this series all about? And so they wanted to try Sunny Side Up. So it's spreading. You can feel it spreading around the classroom. Okay, this girl is really into the series Unfortunate Events. So she's on book 5 now. She's been reading them for a while. She's even reading them last summer before we came back to school. Wimpy kid. This girl is trying to read like all of them, which has been really fun to see. She earlier read like a bazillion, it felt like, Dork Diaries, and now she's into the Wimpy kid. This book is so interesting. The kid with the big green hand. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Gets a big green hand. Green hand starts talking to the kid. Check it out. Yeah, kids just, the weirder the better, right? The weirder the better. And then a kid today was like, did you name your kid after Hobbs? Is that where you got the name for your son? I have a son named Hobbs who goes to school here. I'm like, yes, we absolutely did. Have you read these comics? And he hadn't, so now he's going to. How exciting is that? Have you read The Magic Misfits? It's by Doogie Howser or Neil Patrick Harris. I haven't, but this kid in my class has read 2, and now he's on to third, and he's trying to get me to read them. He's really into them. So I probably should listen to him. Maybe I'll read it over winter break. Positively Izzy from the Emmy and Friends series. I feel like everyone should like try this series. They're like these kind of like hybrid-y graphic novel-y things. And they're awesome. They're so good. The kids who read them love them so much. I think more kids. I need to do maybe book talking or encourage the kids that have been reading it to book talk them, because I just think there's just so much for the kids in there. Billy Blasters, a new graphic novel. I haven't read it, but I gave it to a kid who I thought would like it, and he's reading it a second time in like the last 3 weeks. So it must be pretty good if he's reading it twice. City of Dragons. Have you read this? I haven't read this one. I read the first one and I loved it. So we got the second one in our school library, and a bunch of kids in my class have been reading it, and it's on our list of books that we need to purchase. So I have this. This is like my to-do list. And there's like lots of different categories on my to-do list. And one of them are books we need. So I need the new City of Dragons. Somehow I'm missing a bunch of the Dory Phantasmagoria books. A girl was asking for a couple Goosebumps. The War That Saved My Life. We have The War I Finally Won, but can't find The War That Saved My Life. And then those Who Was books that I was telling you about earlier. So always have this in the pocket just in case I'm having a conference with the kid and we come up with a book that we need for our classroom. Thank you for supporting reading. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for caring about the reading lives of young people. It makes all the difference. My name is Colby Sharp. Excuse me. Almost winter break. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an awesome-tastic